Well, hello again, people. Um, Today's video is going to be another little bit of history. But before I start, I have to say this. It is about a virus, but it has no connection to today's virus. It's all documented history and can be researched on the internet. Some of you might be old enough, like myself, to remember the swine flu outbreak back in 1976, and also about another flare-up of the same virus in 2009. This is all documented history. Anybody can look at it on the internet. Many resources out there put this out. Some of the younger ones, as I say, might not remember it, but let's see what history tells us about it, shall we? Well, 1976, what exactly was it all about? I am reading some bits from a screen. As I said, I had a blood clot many years ago, well, 12 years ago now, so my short-term memory isn't that good, so it just makes it easier for me. 1976, there was a big swine flu outbreak globally that they feared would turn into a pandemic. Now, at the time, Gerald Ford was President of the United States and decided to roll out very large vaccine program. Imperato was in charge of the rollout. He was health commissioner at the time, and they decided to start it in New York. About 60 locations. They'd ordered that everybody should be vaccinated in the USA. So Imperato, I should say, was to be photographed having his jab because the mayor of New York City refused. And it was supposed to work as a, shall we say, an inspiration for the people. A bit like the idiots we've got here taking the vaccine today. But like I say, this is nothing to do with the virus that's going about today. Totally different thing. So, censors shouldn't touch this. But the problem they had was it was reportedly quite a few deaths from heart attacks after taking the vaccine. Needless to say, this was a lot of hype by the media. Especially as one woman was reported, a 75-year-old Julia Bushi, reportedly dropped dead moments after taking a few steps after she'd had the jab. This was proved totally wrong. But they'd had 4 companies producing a vaccine. And the companies wanted immunity from any kickback if there was any problems with it. Now, it did cause quite a few problems for many people. They were looking at all the wrong figures. This is the press. They weren't looking at the excess mortality deaths. that would not have happened otherwise. But they looked at the daily emergence of unexplained heart attack. And of course, this caused a lot of uproar. Now, the company has asked for immunity, but the government wouldn't get it. But they said they would fund defence in any lawsuits for them. But then a real problem arrived. Now, there is one that is connected to the vaccines they were given back then. Not many people, 20% of Americans were vaccinated at the time before the rollout was stopped. Many millions of them, but there was several hundred cases of Guillain-Barré syndrome. And I'll read this from the page. A rare problem where the body's immune system attacks the nerves. It leads to weakness and tingling in the extremities, which I believe is some of the symptoms of reactions today, especially in America. They're using different vaccines as well as to what we are in most cases. In some cases, it can lead to severe complications and even paralysis. Total paralysis, that is. But back in the 70s, obviously, it was less understood. They didn't have a lot of information on this syndrome, but they were prepared to overlook what it was doing to, in proportion, very few people. And it outweighed the risks, apparently. But it was stopped in December because the pandemic didn't appear. But basically it came from the government following science, not the facts. They looked at the wrong numbers. Now, I think this is where the compensation due to damages through Vaccine Act of 1979 came from. Because obviously they were worried about the same thing happening again and being sued over and over and over. There was another outbreak of this swine flu in 2009, which is more relevant to the UK, but I will do another video on that probably later in the week, because the story I've found from that is in the UK, and it's just one of quite a few stories. Again, YouTube, if you're watching, it's nothing to do with the virus we've got today. This is all documented history. Just seeing if there's anything else relevant in here. I mean, this is quite a long interview. It goes into the press's role in it all. I mean, there's one saying here, one paragraph, which is highlighted, funny enough, that states, and I quote this, "When politicians talk of the science as a complete body of knowledge, a manual for what to do, it neglects the uncertainty of evidence and ignores that science is a human endeavour." Not everybody gets things right, but they were relying on the science, just like we've been told they've been doing here. So take that from that what you will, people. I will be doing another video on the 2009 outbreak, which again didn't turn into a pandemic, although they were frightened it was going to. But that's it for today. I've had to redo this piece. I did a longer video, but forgot to plug the bloody microphone in. And didn't notice until I started editing. At the end of this video, there's a 2-minute section. It's a couple of clips for a friend of mine. Feel free to watch them. You might even enjoy them. The next couple of minutes is for you, Graham. Till the next time, people, stay safe, stay strong, and stay free. Respects to you all. Hi. What you doing? You want to be a YouTube star? Do you want to be on YouTube? Huh? Do you want to be on YouTube? Hey. Hey. You're my little YouTube star. What you doing? What you doing? Now you're going to sit and have a wash. What you doing? What you doing? Well. Hmm? The fun and games of trying to make a YouTube video when you've got a bloody cat that won't leave you alone.